Hello everyone, this is Deepali Vishwakarma, and a student at IIPS DAVV, and I'm currently pursuing BTech plus MTech in CSIT itself. So, today I am completing my third assignment of web programming. So, my today's topic is type of CSS. When we actually listen types of CSS, the question arises in our head is what actually a CSS is. So, CSS is a property. CSS is a way of styling and layout web pages. With the help of HTML code, we can just made a structure of a web page or a website, but we can't add any kind of styling in that, like background color, font size, font color, weight, text alignment, or anything. It will be represented very simple, very common websites that were used in 90s and 2000s as well. So to overcome this very boring and normal websites, what is introduced now is CSS, and now CSS 3 version has also arrived, but and that has also been very profitable for users. It has introduced box shadows and box sizing and many other things as well. So currently our topic is type of CSS. So let's dive in that. So what actually the types of CSS are? So first is inline CSS. Another one is internal CSS, or also known as embedded CSS, and another one is external CSS. So first thing is inline CSS. So inline CSS involves applying styles directly to individual HTML elements using the style attribute. So in inline CSS, let's see it with an example. So here is an example, a snapshot of a code. So what is written here is a p tag. This p tag is written inside a body tag whenever we write an HTML code. So we have added a name that is in style so that we can add any kind of styling to the content present inside this tag. So now what kind of attributes we have added in this paragraph tag element is color, font size, font style, and text alignment. So we have aligned our text in center of our web page. Another thing, font style, we have wrote our font in italic. Another is font size. So we have set our font size to be 50 pixels and color to be this. So probably this color must be this green one. This green one. Font size must be 50 px as we have applied. Font style is italics. It is written in italics as clear. Now the text alignment is in the center of a web page, like we can say. If this is a web page, whole web page, then this content is written in the center of that web page. So this all was an inline CSS. We can write it inside a tag, like where we wanna style, if we wanna if we wanna add styling to this line. So what we can actually do is we just write a style inside the tag used for this. So paragraph tag was used here, so we applied this styling here. All the attributes, all the fonts and whatever styling we wanted, we have applied here. So this was all about inline CSS. Now moving to the internal CSS or embedded CSS. So what actually an internal CSS is? So internal CSS is defined within HTML documents style element. So whenever an internal CSS is applied, then it is applied inside the head tag, inside the style tag. So this style tag is introduced inside the head tag in an HTML code. So let understand it with an example. So here is an example. So this is our normal boilerplate code. So there is the head section and there is the style section. So as I have told earlier, that this is a style tag is written inside this head tag. So Let's not dive into this content of this style tag, but let's dive into the body or the structure of our HTML code, where we will see like how and why this styling is done. So firstly, we will see that this inside this body tag, we have introduced a div class named main, another div class named GFG, and with a plain text inside this div class internal CSS. Now another div class geeks with an in plain text inside it implementation of internal CSS. If we only apply this body to this HTML and only this HTML, or we will not write this style inside the head section, then we will get these things like internal CSS, implementation of internal CSS, wrote like normal font, normal way, in a very normal way. There will be no color, there will be no font size or text alignment at all. But with the help of styling, we can actually add much weight or much attraction towards them. So here, here, as we can see in the output, internal CSS, it is written here in the dev class named GFG. So let's see what kind of attributes we have added in this class GFG. So inside this style tag, we have wrote this class GFG with a dot in front of this. So why we have added a dot here is, before selecting a class to implement any kind of styling in that, we have to add dot in front of that. If there was a ID, so we have been adding a hash in front of the name of this ID. So now let's see what the attributes we have used here. So the attributes we used is color, font size, and font weight. So color is this, font size is 50, and font weight is bold. So this is written in bold, font size is actually 50 pixels, and the color is we have selected in that thing. So now let's see the content that is written below this is this implementation of internal CSS. So let's see where it belongs to. So implementation of internal CSS belongs to class geeks, and let's see that what kind of attributes we have used in this style section. So font style and font size we have added here. So font style is bold and font size is 20. So as we can clearly see the difference, that this internal CSS was wrote in 50 pixels while this is wrote in 20 pixels. So the difference is pretty clear that we have applied the CSS property. Now we have also added the font weight as bold. So now this was all about internal CSS. So now moving to the next is our external CSS. So our external CSS is written inside another file, and that is made with an extension of .css with it. Why we actually make a different file for this? Because we can actually use that CSS file within another structure of HTML as well. We don't have to redesign it again and again, so that we use this file it increases the reusability of code, we can say in simple words. So there is a different HTML file in that section and a different CSS file as well. So let's firstly see the HTML code. So there is our boilerplate code. So what we actually need to do here is, inside the head tag, we have to write this link tag. So this link tag here actually contains the type like style sheet it is, and the link like actually the reference link, and that is style.css. Let's see, we have made this CSS, we have applied this CSS and save all this property in a file named style.css. So what we actually need to do is to connect these files to actually implement the properties we have wrote in the next file. So we have applied this and actually added style.css, actually added styles with using this file. So now moving on to the body. So it is actually similar to the internal CSS because everything is similar here. The only difference we are seeing here is CSS property is applied in a different file with the help of different file. All the properties here are also same as we have seen earlier, Let's see the output. So external CSS, this shows implementation of external CSS. Let's see where external CSS was wrote and what properties and attributes were actually applied. So external CSS was wrote in dev class GFG. So here GFG is, so GFG color, font size and font weight was applied. So color is selected, font size is absolutely 50 pixels, font weight is bold. Now another thing is why this body is actually written here. So body actually means the whole body of a web page, like this whole body from here to here to here to here. So all this is a body of a web page. So background color attribute is applied here, and so we have selected a background color to powder blue. So whatever and whenever our web page will get open, so there will be a background color of powder blue, and that will be applied to the whole body of that web page. Now next, see, this shows implementation of external CSS. Let's see where it is written. So it is written inside the geeks ID. So here it is ID. So we will be adding an hashtag before selecting this ID's name. So hashtag before the ID's name, and ID name is geeks. And here it is two attributes given, font size and font style. So font style was bold, so here it is written in bold, and font size was 20, so and this was 50, so the difference is totally clear that CSS is applied. So now let's see when to use inline CSS and internal CSS and external CSS. So for quick fixes and small changes that don't require a separate CSS file, we use inline CSS. When you need to override other style for a particular element, if you are working on email or HTML based application where external files are not supported. So in many email or many workplaces, external CSS files are not supported, or while sending two files at a time, that must be taking a long time. So to overcome that thing, we write the all that content in the inline CSS, or whenever we feel like there is a need of very small fixes, so we apply inline CSS there. Now internal CSS is when designing a single page website, means when the website is very short, then we apply internal CSS, and if you need better control over styling, then inline CSS. So internal CSS is nothing but all the content that is written inside the external CSS file we wrote in external CSS is written in the head tag, inside the head tag and inside the style tag in the HTML code itself. So it is used for small to medium size project where external CSS might be unnecessary. So this is a better way of styling when there is external CSS property is not allowed or not necessary. So internal CSS is the best way for that. Now moving for that, when to use external CSS for large scale project where multiple pages shares a common page. So let's see the example of a common design. So let's see, I've opened this website. Here is a fixed header for this. Here is the fixed flex box for this. And here a fixed background color for this as well. So we can figure it out that there is a common CSS design was made for this website as well. So whenever the project or is large or multiple pages are there in the website, we use external CSS. So when maintainability and scalabilities are actual priorities to improve website performance and load times using CSS sketching. So that's all for today. Thank you for seeing the video.